What is up, guys? I am Quicksilver, in case you didn't already know, but since you're here, you probably do already know. Anyway, I guess moving along here with the video for today, I'm going to do something a little different. I know I usually like to try and stick to, or my goal anyway, is to stick to about a 20-minute long video. Seems like I rarely manage to do that, but this one may actually be a little longer, maybe a little shorter, I don't know. Long and short of it is almost Thanksgiving 2013, and I'm actually going out of town, so I thought I'd record this little video in advance and do something a little different today. Instead of building a project, what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to give you guys a little world tour. Normally I think people that YouTubers tend to do those things when they're at like a monumental thing, like, hey, I've got, thousands of subs, or I've got, my 800th video or something like that. But hey, here we are. This is, I think, video 64, maybe 65, I don't know right now off the top of my head. So we don't really have anything special for it, other than I'm going to be going out of town and I need an excuse to do something in advance that I can post and give you guys a little week's reprieve. So anyway, I will resume my normal posting schedule as soon as I get back from being out of town, but didn't want to leave you guys hanging to let you know, or let anybody wonder, hey, where the heck's this guy gone? So in any case, let's, I guess, hop to it. So I guess starting out where we are inside the base, the topmost floor of the house. I don't know what we want to call this, a chateau, what we want to call it. But I will leave there. This is really nothing other than aesthetics. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm pleased with it. It's probably still coming along, but meh, moving right along, I'll come to something that's a little more recent of a build that we are standing on right now. This is my Flaming Wall of Death, which, yeah, as you can tell, I've got enough arrows loaded into this thing that we can play around with it for a while. The reason I built this is just kind of looking out over here. When it was nighttime, I'd look over here, and I kept seeing lots of mobs kind of on this little hillside over here where things are not lit up. So I thought I'd try and come up with a little way to deal with them. At least it would be a little fun. So when we hit this button over here, we pop out a little wall of flaming arrows that really isn't enough to kill him, although I think I did see one guy die from it once. So I don't know if that was just a fluke or if he was already weak from something else, but there you go. We have that going for us. So I guess that is contraption number one that I want to show to you. Then I guess we will move down through the house right now. Oh, I guess first of all, second of all, since we already done first of all, for those who do not know, I actually use my own texture pack. It is a modification. It's a modified John Smith texture pack with some stuff that I've built into it. Actually, quite a few blocks that I've built into it. And then I also use the Mesa texture pack so that I get a whole bunch of different mob types. So not all the zombies look all the same, not all the skeletons look the same. Everybody's kind of mixed up and a little different. So when I'm fighting monsters, they always look a little different. So anyway, I guess that's floor one. Floor two here. Nothing super cool major in here, other than right here is the top of our minecart elevator that when we descend from here will take us down. We actually have two stops. One just gets us down to the bottom of the cliffside here, and the other one actually takes us down into the mines. So that is what that is. We'll go out that door later as well. Then down here in our basement is a little, really this is the only storage that I have. That's one of the projects that I think I want to do. I actually had a friend of mine ask me about it the other day, and he asked if I was ever going to do a proper storage room, and I thought, I've been using this one and it's gotten me through so far, but I'd kind of like to do something maybe a little more aggressive. So maybe we'll take a look at that. Yeah, as you can tell, if you've watched my videos at all, this is uncharacteristically light of me to have this little tiny bit of inventory, but you know what? I have actually been doing a bunch of projects and just happen to not have a whole bunch in here right now. So anyway, as you can see, we do have just some in-floor furnaces, in-floor crafting tables, nothing out of the ordinary super over here. However, here I have built one of the auto smelting furnaces. So as you can tell by the signs, I throw my fuel sources in here, like some coal from, let's say, right here, which I think I already have some in there. But when I throw some coal in here, it gets fed down into the system. And then when I pick a block that I want to smelt, which I think I'm probably already smelting a bunch of cobblestone just because I'm low on smooth stone, it gets put in there. Yeah, so it's not going to get fed down, but oh yeah, it is, I guess. They both get fed down into a furnace array that then automatically smelts it and throws the resultant smooth stone over here. So if I open that again in a second or two, voila, 15 blocks instead of 14. Wait another couple of seconds here. Wait a couple more seconds here. and 16. You just saw it increment. So there you go. So that's how that thing works. And by the way, if there's anything in here that you see that you're thinking, hey, that's pretty cool, how did you build it? This is everything that you'll see in here today. I think I've done a pretty good job documenting the builds of it and stuff like that. So anything that I didn't feel that I did a very good job documenting, I think I tried to do a tutorial on. So there should be some stuff there or explanations of how to do all of this. This door just leads to the redstone for the flaming wall of death that we have built there. Interestingly enough, something I discovered during this, and I don't know if it was a glitch that maybe they've gotten resolved or whatever, but periodically, because I have my lava here, my dispensers would actually catch fire. They're not getting destroyed by the fire, but they are catching fire and just kind of smoldering and probably getting really pissed off. But then the fire goes out and everything's fine, and they don't catch anything else on fire. So who knows? I guess next I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to walk off into this little guy. This is our minecart elevator that I built in one of my earlier episodes based on Monkey Farm's design. This is, I guess, stop number 1 at the bottom of the hillside. That's the hill that we were peppering with arrows from up above us there. And yeah, I'll show you everything else over there in a few minutes. But where the hell did you come from, buddy? Now I'm going to trap you in here. Why not? I'm not sure how he got in, but we'll have to investigate that later or something. So if I continue and I go down this one, this is really the long mine shaft. This takes us down into our mine, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time down here just to show you, and I'll kind of overview what it is. I've marked what direction is what, and I think we've dug out primarily to the west. And basically it's just a big strip mine. What I did was I dug out in the cardinal directions, I think 200 blocks that way, 200 that way, 200 that way, 200 that way, and then connected them all in a giant square hallway around the outside edges. Then I picked a direction. In this case I went west, and I just dug out here until I hit that outer hallway and then dug back so I'd come back down this way. So in essence it's given me a really nice, easy way to make one massive mine. Got a lot of resources out of this thing. Yeah, this is the direction I've mostly mined out. I've almost gotten to that torch right there. The torch that I placed on the floor lets me know where I've stopped and also when I'm coming back. So yeah, as you can see, or maybe you can't see, this wall back here is actually the outer extent of it. So maybe it's only 100 blocks out in every direction. So it's a 200 block square with the center point being 100 blocks in. I've marked this. There's a cave complex that direction that I've actually explored a few times. There's another way to get into it right here. Needs to be lit up. Actually, I probably lit it up a bunch just kind of exploring. But then also a lot of lava in case I need some of that, because I actually had a source of lava closer to the outside of the base, but I think I've used most of that up. So actually I've used all of that up. So anyway, I can come down here and get plenty of it. I can go to the nether and get plenty of it, so I'm certainly not going to be at a loss for it. As far as anything special down here, not really. This is pretty much as vanilla Minecrafty as you can get. Stuck a crafting table, a crafting bench, crafting table, whatever you want to call it, in the wall. Got a little furnace array up here that actually, wow, I'm surprised. There's actually some coal in it, it looks like. Well, maybe only in that one. So anyway, and then yeah, I'm just some block dumps that I've been using. I've been raiding the cobblestone, actually. I've been going through cobblestone left and right with some of the builds I've been doing lately. So I am running low on that. Just some junk iron shovels and iron picks. Then using the minecart elevator that I've got here, all I have to do is right click and it'll move me up from cart to cart to cart. And thanks to them introducing that little noisy thing when you're riding in a minecart, you get that weird little glitchy thing. I think I'll go down that way a little later, but in the meantime we will actually take this one back up into the main house, and something will happen and I will lock up and I can't get out of the minecart. What's going on? That's really weird. Let's try that again. There we go. I don't know what happened there. I've never actually glitched in that thing, so there we go. There's a glitch. Out this door, we just have a pretty view. The witch farm is over there. That's my skelly farm / tower. Wanted to be able to make that little bridge is just to connect the witch farm to that. Wanted to make a neat way to get to and from. But we'll look at all that stuff in just a minute. Let's see. Let's go down low first, and I'll show you the lower portion of the base proper before we go up to some of the other stuff that's up here. So yeah, we'll start over here where I have two things really, and actually before I get in here any further, let's turn our friendly creatures completely off because I've got pigs galore here and cows galore and they're just annoying. Don't know where that little guy came from. He's not a part of the base. Right here we have our pig farm. I do have a tutorial on this if you want to know how to build it. I think right now in here I've got about, how many pigs are hanging out here? Entity count 111 between this side and this side. Simple premise, I grabbed carrots out of this box We press this button, which makes this area flood, and our pigs all do the happy dance in the popcorn maker. I hold down right click as long as I have a full stomach, and they will just sit there and happily mate in the water. The babies come shooting through this little half slab here, a little half slab opening. We get the tasty XP orbs, not that we really need them anymore here, but early on that was kind of nice. Then I can turn that off. Yeah, and a lot of times, and there's a pig glitching through the wall there. Not sure where he came from, but anyway, then once they're down in here and they grow up, we hit this button when we want to. Hit it once, hit it again, and the pigs that are in there that are adults are actually in the lava. The babies are actually underneath it. So when those pigs die, we have a little hopper array underneath there that then picks up the pork and throws it in here. I actually do have a couple of raw pork chops in here, because the one downside to this whole thing, if you want to really call it a downside, is this side can sometimes, the babies don't always come shooting through, and when that happens you get an abundance of these guys kind of lined up in here. I have another hopper array underneath, so when it gets really loaded with pigs, I just go ahead and I kill them and they die, and the pork that they have comes shooting through and comes up over here. Actually, I'm using a flame sword, so they burn up and give me cooked pork at this point. But anyway, so that's that. Through here is just apparently an army of pigs. Let's kill those guys off. Just redstone access for both the cow farm cookery area over here, and then down here is, wow, got a lot of these guys glitched through. I want to get him out of there because he can screw up our he can totally screw up our timing on that thing. Wow, yeah, I guess I must have a whole lot of pigs in here. I should probably kill off some of the ones that are hanging out in the area. Those are the guys that are in the waiting to be cooked area. Let's see if any more of them are down here. Again, this is all, yep, there we go. Wow, check them out. I don't think I've ever seen that many pigs down here. Cool. So our hopper timers, everything's working. We got less swine down here now. But yeah, okay, so there we go. There's the underbelly of this. I wasn't really going to show you all this part, but there you have it. And the way that I get up and out back to where we were. And yeah, alright, so there you go. That is the back end of the pig cooker, and as well as the cow cooker. I have the same kind of a deal over here, where I hit this button, it opens and closes that door, which is fun, but it spits out a really quick burst of lava there. So when our cows are actually over there, and let's go ahead and do that really fast. I flip this lever, oops, once, and we flood out there, and then I actually have some pistons that pull away open some holes up in the back, so half our cows flood forward like we want them, so that we can keep feeding them and make more cows. The other half get pushed back and into the hole in the very back. Holes, I guess there's two holes really, in the very back of there. We use water to move them over, and then mob evade them up, and then more water to move them over where they drop down here. And so we just let them come down here. Now I can use this button to cook them, or this sword is actually just a killing sword, but I do have a looting sword, so I can get oodles of steak out of these guys. But as you can see, they just continue to drop down here. If I wanted to kill them with a sword, I'll just pull this block out temporarily. I should just put it on a piston so I can hit a button and pull it down if I want to use my looting sword. But then once the cows have all filled this area up, I will hit that really quickly, and the lava should set them on fire, and they should die before everything's done, and we pick up some tasty steak. So in that case, we didn't really have very many of them, so we only got 21 steaks, but that's not too bad, and we got some leather out of the build as well, I guess to boot. This chest is just where I'm storing wheat to feed these guys, and when I want to feed them, I don't know if I ever need to show you guys this, but I will since I did with the pigs. Just hold down right click and run around left and right. And the ones that are in the back, sometimes they get shut out, but I have found if I hang out here long enough in one spot, because I have wheat, the baby cows want to rush forward, and so they will actually usually do what they're doing right there, and they'll make a hole, and I can kind of point above their heads and feed the cows that are in the back as well. So the only drawback to this farm, there's a tutorial on this as well. The only drawback to this farm is I can't get the XP out of there because of the way that cows glitch through things. This was the only way I could actually keep them inside and not come out here and find a cow or two wandering around. So anyway, that is a great little farm. Highly recommend that one too. Over here is just a standard meat and potatoes farm. I set this up when I very first moved to this area and set up the house up there. And for a while that fed me. I'm just using wheat, and sugarcane came later, and then as did the potatoes and carrots that we have over here growing now as well. But yeah, this originally was to feed me, and now I just use it to feed the cows and the pigs for the farms there. Let's see, back here I've got a little automatic sugarcane farm a la Mumbo Jumbo's design, if I'm not mistaken. I'll try and do that with you guys too. Oops, as I not remember how to throw things out of my hand. As I go through here, I'll try, if I forget something and I don't tell somebody, hey, here's who this design is, do call me out, let me know. I'd like to make sure I'm giving credit where credit is due. A lot of the stuff is stuff that I've built on my own or in conjunction with somebody else's design or idea, but in the cases like this one, where it's pretty much straight a rip from Mumbo Jumbo, I would like to give him credit. Because I'm doing a world tour, I'm not going to post links to all this stuff, but I have tried to be pretty vigilant about giving credit where credit is due in my series. So if you want to know how something was done and you don't want to watch me do it, if you look through my video series, my Let's Play, just the descriptions, I've tried to give links to everything. So I know, for example, for this one, I know I have a link to Mumbo's design on this thing and how he built it. The Iron Golem farm, I linked to Doc M77's tour. That's I guess a Panda. I think it's a Panda design that Doc did a video tutorial on. But anyway, neither here nor there. I think I've tried to be pretty vigilant in that stuff, so please do check them out if you want to see. I guess over here we have a broken X-ray machine that no longer works because they have decided to finally skin the inside of blocks. Used to be able to do this and I could see what was going on in the mob farm and then just kind of jump up and out, but since they've broken that, I just can't bear to get rid of it. Maybe they'll break it again someday and I can use it to X-ray the world, but in the meantime, maybe I'll use, I think Exuma Void has a redstone version of this thing, but it seems to be kind of a one-shot deal, so I'm not sure if I'll ever build another X-ray machine again or not, but no big shake. Back over here, we have the Ice Temple, which unfortunately is a great idea, and it is, I'm pretty sure it is mine entirely, but it doesn't work because of the way that they've screwed up ice. If I had built this in an ice biome, like one of the winter forests, or if I did it like an ice spikes biome, this would work wonderfully, and I highly recommend. I think I did a tutorial on this as well. If not, I know the Let's Play series that I did on this, I think I did it across the span of 3 or 4 episodes, so you can check it out and it will tell you exactly how to make one of these things. The reason it's not fully functional, ideally this would be a wall of ice here, and this is actually a bud switch right here, so when anything hits this, it causes the wall to poke out. So ideally what would happen is this entire back room would be filled with ice. However, because of the way that ice freezes above level 90, and I built this before 1.7 came out where we would get that ice happening above level 90, unfortunately they changed, I guess, the behavior of ice. So I think ultimately I'm probably going to just move this bud switch over here so that at least I'll have, this much of it will be a wall of ice. It just won't be a disgusting amount like I had originally intended. I'll show you the top side of this, and actually let's go ahead and show you that right now so you can see the ugly inner workings of it. So we'll head up the hill here, and then I think I have a little trap door, or I may just have an open hole. Yeah, this is the top where things are supposed to freeze, but unfortunately it doesn't freeze the right way. When we go inside here, yeah, here we go. Like I said, in an ice biome, man, this thing works great. These things freeze, they get pushed up, they get pushed over, they get pushed down here. Here we can see a little better here. And the water source blocks are actually underneath and protected here, so as soon as those things freeze and get shoved out of the way, it refills it with water source blocks in the front, and it can repeat the process. And there's a hole here, so it's exposed to the sky, so it does indeed freeze, and proof of concept is the band of ice, I guess, that we have working there. So that is that. Let's head up and out, and then I'll go back down to the lower level over here, and we'll check something else out. I'll explain what all this redstone-y stuff up here is in a minute. Let's see, over this way. I didn't want to do that. That sucked. Oh well, we'll live. Over here, yeah, over here I guess we have the tree farm. I still need to build a proper tree farm. This is really just the wall of wood kind of a concept. I plant all these saplings really close together. I just let them grow naturally. Go ahead and pull all the leaf blocks off of here, and I'm left with just a big block of wood that I can kind of chop through. I've got a diamond axe here that is efficiency 4, so it makes light work of that, which is awesome. But and it gives us oodles of wood, but I would like to do something a little more permanent. I guess he escaped somehow. And that'll take us over to the next thing. This is the slime farm, which is overproducing slime, which I expected that it would eventually. I built this when I was creating in preparations for the Enderman farm, and I've gotten a lot of use out of it, obviously, for that. Man, there are a lot of those guys in there. Either that or I just have really bad aim. Let's hop up here, see if we can get them all. Okay, good deal. Looks like it's had really bad aim. There's like 29 slime balls there. So anyway, the workings of this are not anything super special. It's just your average run-of-the-mill slime farm. Again, I'd give credit on that one, but I'm not sure who necessarily invented it. I do have this little backup staircase. In the slime farm tutorial, I talk about how to find slime chunks, and a really cool online tool that I used to do that in this particular instance that I highly recommend using, and I explain how to use it in the video. I made this a little two heights slime breeding chunk thing, I guess we'll call it that. And actually good, he's cooperating, so you'll see him get pushed down here, falls down into a little bit of a pit that's over there. It's 1 block deep, shoved through there to a slime reducer. The reduced slimes drop down into a 1 block wide water channel that pushes them over to a ladder, and because the nature of slimes is to climb said ladder, then we can take the baby slimes and bring them up into our base, which is what you just saw me killing. So that is how that thing works. When the ladder brings them up, I actually have a water source block kind of above and behind it that pushes them over, and then they drop down onto there, and it's not enough of a drop to kill them, but and they do take a little time to get up here. So the guy that we just saw die, we're probably not going to see his slimes come up here, but unless we get really lucky, but I'm not counting on it. So that is that. I guess let's look over here really fast. This is the chicken farm, which I have working, but there's something funky going on in Minecraft where the chickens that I have up here in the head, which is where the chickens who lay the eggs to power this thing live, they seem to just randomly vanish. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but I'm assuming they're just glitching out of their space, and then I'm going up inside the chicken and killing them. So periodically I have to take some eggs and go up there to do it, but it is fully automated. Unlike the cow farm and the pig farm, I don't have to do anything. I have not done anything to get any of the cooked chicken that I have down here, or the feathers or anything else. Again, I know I have a tutorial on building this thing where I do it block by block, well, I guess layer by layer really for you. This little trapdoor comes down in here to the timer system that we use to make sure that we're actually cooking the chickens. I think I don't remember if it's every 6 minutes, 16 minutes, or whatever it is. You know, check the tutorial and it'll tell you, but it takes items passing around this thing, and ultimately they get over here and they'll pass a signal through here that automates the cooking process, and any chickens that were laid and grew up inside this thing, and then I have this button so I can manually fire it off. Any chickens that are up here inside, in the cooking chamber up here, when that timer goes around, get automatically cooked, and their drops go down into the system, into the chest down there that we saw. So that is how the chicken farm works. This is my little impromptu boat dock. I can take a boat here and I can place it down there. Go ahead and hop in it, and then when I hit this button, water from the back will flood it and push us out like that, so that we can go on a nice neat little boat ride. Haven't really gotten a whole lot of use out of this thing, actually. I think it's pretty cool, but you know what, I always forget that you can't use the arrow keys on these things anymore. So let's see if we can make this thing go around without destroying our boat. Go, 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 go. Alright, sweet. Alright, did it. Then he's got to kind of line up when we're going back in. Kind of go, 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 go in between them, and boom, hop out of that thing. Then thanks to boats not being completely destroyed anymore, when we do that, we can grab it back and throw it back in here to use it again. So that is our little boat dock that we've got built down here. There's actually a lot of areas. I really want to take advantage of this thing. Maybe I'll do an episode someday soon where we go that direction in the boats, because I actually used MC Edit when 1.7 came out so that I could get some of the new biomes to load, which is where these dark oak trees came from. But yeah, if I follow this around, I think I can actually get into the new biomes by using water instead of running across the land. So it'd be interesting to check that out, and maybe I will do that with you guys someday. So that is what that stuff is there. Then let's continue moving along. And guys, if I'm talking a mile, there's our slime that reduced. If I'm talking a mile a minute, guys, I feel like I am. And it's not because I'm nervous or anything. I feel like I've got a lot of stuff to cover, and I don't want this to be an hour-long video. So anyway, moving along, I have some nether wart planted up here strictly for convenience, because inside here, this is actually the bottom of our iron golem farm. Inside here, this is the lower level of it. I thought I would go ahead and I would set up a couple of things in here. Number one, need to do something over here still. Maybe I'll move our netherwort farm inside or something. But anyway, a couple of things going on over here. Number one, I'll use this guy. We have our snow farm. Our little snow golem stuck here, and because of the biome that we're in, and he's actually standing on, I think, a piece of obsidian, if I aim down here and just attack it, then we will destroy the snow that's there, and because he's an iron golem, because he's a snow golem, he will just continually make more snow. So that snow is always there. Anytime we want snow for anything, I can come in here and do that, and then just load it up into here. So that is what that is and how that works. Then this little doohickey is our actual potions on demand potions on demand setup that I've created. I think this is based on an Assumevoid build. I've only got it set up to do 2 potions. I'm doing night vision here and I'm doing swiftness here. Night vision is awesome if you're doing any underwater builds. Highly recommend it because it makes basically underwater turn into not underwater anymore, so it's really easy to see what you're doing. There's one of the custom pieces of art that I've got in here from the texture pack. In here is my stores of netherwort, of sugar, redstone, gas tiers, and gunpowder, which I really need to reload from up in the mob farm, which I gotta not forget to show you guys. Then additionally back here is just how we access the potions on demand from the back, which in a lot of instances is not important, but in this case it's very important because this is where I've got to reload the dispensers if I want to continue to make the potions. So I throw sugar in there, redstone in there, I throw netherwort in there, and then when I hit the button it'll automatically make the potions that we need for speed over here, and then for night vision over here, golden carrots, redstone dust, and netherwort here. So and very soon I will be able to make oodles of golden carrots. One of the issues I've always had with night vision potions as well as the splash potions of healing, which we'll cover when we get over in the Skelly farm, is the fact that they require gold to use, which kind of sucks because that can be hard to come by, but I am actually working on a gold farm that I think I'm probably going to end up doing a tutorial on. I'm not sure anybody's done one specifically like what I'm doing. It's kind of a combination of the Enderman farm, but it actually does a couple little things differently, so I may actually try and do something there. So this is level 2 of the Iron Golem farm, where I actually have some automatic sorting going on. Anything I throw in this chest will get sorted out into any of the things that I have noted over here. Still need to finish out some of the stuff in here. I have room for other items. Primarily I wanted to be able to sort some nether items here, as well as the iron goods, because I felt like, you know what, this is really close to our nether portal access, so I wanted to make sure that I would have the ability to sort a bunch of that stuff and just come running down here and dump it off in here to get it out. We have a ton of iron in here, even more in there. I just every now and then I'm coming in here and I'll pull some out of here and I'll make some blocks and then throw those up in there. Basically each one of these blocks is equal to 9 stacks of 64 from here. So we have a ton of iron working. The design of this thing is, like I said, it's just a 1 level high as opposed to 2 level high version of DocM77/Panda's Iron Golem tutorial. Highly recommend it, man. Iron is no longer anything important to me in the world. I just kind of ignore it whenever I need to and or feel like it. So it's a wonderful little farm. It's a total pain in the butt to build, but I highly recommend it. If you need iron, I've not found a better way to go. I know there are other things out there like the iron trench design that I think Tango Tech's done and some other things like that, but honestly, for realistic play where you don't need that much iron, this thing's been wonderful. I've never come over here and been, oh man, I need a bunch of iron, and been caught short. If you want to, just for the sake of building it, like I said, I don't know if anybody knows villager behavior any better than Tango Tech does, and he's used that knowledge to come up with some really cool designs to just make a disgusting amount of iron. But if you're not interested in that, then this is a great way to go just for a functional iron farm that gives you plenty of iron and an abundance of it to work with. So then I guess moving on here, we have the only elevator, well I guess not the only elevator, we have the minecart elevator. This is a piston elevator that I've built into here where we hit this button and these things will push us up and over, and this is where our nether portal is, which I'm hesitant to go through because there's still some things I need to show you in here. But why not? Because here we are. Hopefully I will not... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do it. That's how we get up here. Let me show you how we get down. We're getting down. We're using the water here. We're just kind of swimming through here, and I've got these little drop-off areas right here where I can kind of pop through, which works beautifully. So that's how we get down from there, and we'll actually go through there in a couple minutes. But before we go to the Nether and all points beyond, I did want to show you a couple of other things. We have our mob farm over here, which actually has a couple guys chilling out in it, looks like. So I hit that button. We've got our little I guess it's a 6x1 door that we've got built in here. And then I have this to to close it up behind us. I like it because I can actually see out there. I built that early on when mobs would still kind of wander over here sometimes. I don't think I've ever seen a mob outside this door, but I figured this way I can peek out there before I go out. But I'm completely safe if I wanted to AFK in here and kill mobs. All the guys that are in here are one-hit kills, with the exception of the occasional mob like that and zombies who are a little bit tougher, who are sometimes 2 or 3. I wish I had my X-ray machine now. There are, I think I have 3 or 4 really big spawning pads below us. Some of them are actually literally right under our feet. If I knock out this block, you're looking in at one, which means it's completely ineffective when we're AFK in here. But I kept it there just because I wanted to maximize it, and it's where the mobs all get carried up to before they get dropped down and then brought back up here to kill. But I wanted to keep it too because when I'm running around the base, it just adds another layer of areas where we can spawn. We got a handy little witch in here. They're a pain in the ass to kill because they'll start healing themselves, so they require a little wear and tear on the sword to take out, but they're worth it because they drop other cool things too. I have this little setup right here. These hoppers, man, if you watch my series at all on Let's Play, you know I can't stand that word because I always say the wrong thing. They just carry things over into here, and there's what our witch dropped. That's nice. But then, other than that, obviously you can see I've got a ton of drops. Sorry for the clicking. Actually, let me do this really fast so you don't have to listen to it because I know I can't stand it. Wow, another one. That's rare. Everything comes up in here, or that's where I'm sorting everything to. Everything that is killed in this farm obviously gets dumped over in this chest, and then I'm manually sorting it still. I'd like to come up with an automated way to do that is compact enough to fit in here and not get in the way of anything. So far I haven't come up with anything, but I'm still working on it. This chest actually, because I have so many mobs that can get damaged in so many different ways, and when they get dropped off down at the bottom, sometimes they were dying, and I didn't want to lose the drops that they were giving me, so I went ahead and I built a little automatic I guess an item elevator to bring all their items that were dropping up here. So any of the mobs that die down low are getting pulled up here, and I'm able to take to get their drops. Oh, thanks for the stick. To get their drops out of this thing. So that is what that's about. Before I go any further, let's head over here to the bed. I'll sleep, and then we'll come right back and I'll show you some other stuff. Be right back. Okay, we are back, and obviously it is daytime. And I did that because at this point we're actually going to go down to some areas where it's not completely safe. And I guess the first thing to show you here is this really cool elevator design. I'm not sure who originally did it, but I got it from Mumbo Jumbo from his channel, and I think it's pretty cool. I did add the trapdoor in here was not in his design, but I think it's a pretty cool way to keep you from being able to drop into a hole that would be certain death otherwise. When I hit this button, 2 things happen. We open our trapdoor so that we can drop into the hole, and number 2 is we get a little burst of water that comes out of here. Gives us a little water blade that we actually are going to use as an elevator to ride down so that we can get over there to the skeleton farm. So I'll go ahead and hit that. If I can do it properly, let's let that water go. Sorry about that, guys. I'll hit that, it opens up, we step in, and now we're actually riding that little burst of water down. We go through here into the ground. Like I said, it would be certain doom, and we get washed out into here. And actually, I think I'm unveiling for the very first time, guys. I did make an update to my texture pack. I didn't like how my stained glass looked, so I went ahead and brightened it all up, and I get a lot better differentiation between the different colors now. Some of the colors look very, very similar, and now they're all pretty different. So I really like how that's turned out. My little button here to get us through there. I use a wooden button on iron doors anymore because it gives you a much longer time to get through the door before it slams shut on you, which is nice. So then we keep moseying on over here. Actually, you know what? Before we mosey on over there to the skeleton farm, I will show you the dirty underbelly of the item elevator that I just mentioned. I have some sissy bars that I've kind of built in place here so that mobs can't get in here, at least from the outside. everything down here is pretty lit up. I think I've got most of my caves lit really well, but this is actually how that thing worked. Ah, cool. And then you can actually see how those mobs are falling off here. This actually takes all the loot over into our item elevator. This is where the mobs are dropping down. If we're lucky, we'll see one. There we go. And you can see they fall down, they take their damage here, but they actually pass through a tripwire right here that makes these, there's pistons back here that extend and shove them out into the water, which is what we want. Anybody who dies here gets fed into here, and then underneath the floor here, I think I can actually see it over here. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. Under the floor, under this entire floor here, I have a whole bunch of hoppers that are all leading back over here. So anything that dies down here sends us their loot through here and into our item elevator, which uses a really cool timer that I can't remember who actually came up with it. I learned about it from Monkey Farm, but it's a really neat little idea. When an item actually gets put in here, let's send a bone up. Why not? Oh, you're kidding me, really? Pick it up. There we go. When an item gets in here, it activates this thing, and we're actually using the delay time on the comparators. They'll eventually die out here, and when they do, you can actually tell if you watch the redstone, you can see it start to fade. Then it repowers this torch, which turns off this timer, and this timer is actually what powers our item elevator to send all the items up. So that's how that thing works. And let's move along over here. So moving into the skeleton farm. I was just doing some exploring, and I actually found, I still got to do something over here. If you watch my series, that dirt block is not unfamiliar to you. I need to actually build a decent door in here or something, maybe a piston or something like that. I wanted to build something a little more impressive than just a hole in the ground, a staircase or something to get to our skelly farm. I can go up here, and it's a really cool observation tower to look out across the swamp over here and back at our base. But then I've done a complete spiral staircase, a really wide one that'll take us all the way down, and more importantly all the way up. The way that I'm getting down is I use a really quick, just a water drop here. So we drop down, we fall through the water that's there, and which stops our damage, and we're out here where the skeleton farm is. Through this wall, there's actually a skeleton spawner, and I think I have the enemy mobs volume turned all the way down, so we're not going to hear any of them. But they spawn in there, and then I'm using water to move them this way, then water to move them this way, then a water elevator to move them up, and then over, and we drop them down into this room where they will collect right here on this hopper, which feeds their drops into this chest. Probably need to get down here more often. I think I rated this thing for the Flaming Wall of Death farm. But then as long as I'm standing against this wall, we're within the range of the spawner, so it will continue to spawn the skeletons. I do have a little water thing over here. I'm not so that I can fill up the potion machine here. And the potion machine actually in here is just another potions on demand, where I'm making the splash potions of healing. So when I do get skeletons dropping in here, I was hoping they would cooperate a little bit more. I can just, there we go, there's one. When I get a bunch of them in here, I can chuck a splash potion of healing. It kills them. I get all the tasty XP, and I get all their drops get dumped into here. So that's the series there. Then I also have an automatic melon farm here, and this is a modification of one of Monkey Farm's designs. I think I did a pretty decent job explaining how to build one of these if you want to do it. In my Let's Play series where I talk about building the skeleton farm, that happens, and then I've got water that pushes everything down into these dispensers, and then it will, once that's done, it'll pull everything back up again so that it'll grow more melons. All that is on a timer. I do lose a couple of these things if I'm not vigilant and come running back here to pick them up, but yeah, they're melons, who cares, right? It's not a whole lot of them, and I've got a bunch of these things in here anyway, and if I were to actually spend some time down here, I can do that too. I'd have a ton of them in there. Really, it's pretty much a straight rip off of Monkey Farm's original melon farm design, except I did add in the timer so that when I hit this button, it will wait a little bit, slam these things down. It's timed so that it'll pick up all the melons and then reset itself. So when I say it's an automatic melon farm, it's automatic in the sense that all I have to do is hit that button as I'm running in here to kill skeletons, and then once I'm done with them, I can, well, even while I'm in here, I don't have to worry about resetting it or anything like that. So there you are. I'm actually going to steal a stack of arrows here because I usually like to carry some with me, and I seem to have lost them. So then here's the spiral staircase that I mentioned. Doesn't matter where you go in here, there's nowhere where you can't just run straight up, so it's real easy to just hold down run and hit forward and just keep moving to the left, and the next thing you know, after a little jog, you are up here at the top again. So there is that. Let's head over, I guess, to the witch farm now, since we're kind of proximal to it. And then we'll go from there over to our villager trading area, where I will break some sad news to you, but no big shake. Nothing that's going to change any lives or anything like that. Ooh, actually, there are a couple things I need to show you I almost forgot about. So we romp over here, and I think I have kind of a historic view I'll show you from here in just a minute. Actually, two. When we head in here, yep, you can already see there's some witches. This is based on, boy, I don't remember. I think I learned about this witch farm design from DocM77, but I did do some stuff differently. Again, if you want to see how I did, how I've changed it, you can check out my my tutorial. I don't use the shifting floors. Actually, it's not a tutorial. You can check out my video on this build in my Let's Play series. Instead of using shifting floors, I actually have a timer. There's more of that damn clicking from my elevator, or my item elevator, but I don't mind that because that means I'm getting stuff. Instead of using shifting floor design like most of these do, I actually use some water dispensers on a timer back there. The timer is actually built underwater and comes back over here. I have an on-off switch for it if I need to reset it for any reason right here. And the redstone for that actually travels. I don't know if you can see it through the water. I'm not sure if YouTube will cooperate. I've actually created an underground or an underwater tunnel there that's completely dry, so my redstone can get over to where the timer is behind this thing. But yeah, I actually have. Let's go take a look at it. I think we can safely do that. I actually. Yeah, that's annoying. I've actually created the water dispensers here, and actually I can show you the timer if you would like as well. And actually this is good because this, yeah, as you can see, this thing just cranks out a ton of witches. So that's the beautiful thing about that. We get oodles of them. The timer is actually set up back here, and then there are dispensers that have water in them, and that little tick right there is what kicks out the water, and it keeps it on long enough to shove the witches off, like you see happening right there in the dark. And then after a little time, it will go off again, and it will pulse the torch here and make this turn off, and then the bottom ones will turn on. So if there's any witches that have spawned down below, then they're getting shoved around, which is what that little clicking tick was. So that's that. Then right here is my access. I didn't even bother to cover it up. Nothing's ever going to get down in here. This is the timer that I've got set up for it. I've just got a little simple hopper timer set up. It's probably a little more complex than it needs to be, but at this point I'd probably build this a little differently, but it still does the trick. And then this is my reset switch that I was talking about. We're actually underwater here, as you can tell by the drippy ceiling, that carries our signal from inside the collection hut over to here if we wanted to reset this thing, or turn it off, I guess, really, not necessarily just reset it. So we'll head up and out here, and I can't see it from here because the ground's in the way. Just for nostalgia's sake, I'm going to actually run over, I guess swim over is a more appropriate term, as it becomes nighttime, so we may have to fight some mobs. We'll see. Get my little bow out here. I don't really want to spend a bunch of time, but just for the nostalgia factor, if you've been following my series since it first started, the original area where I first came in and first built my base is right over there. I've got a little hut that has some wheat growing outside of it. The spawn in like 00, I guess, is right over there. And I first came over here and was building there while I was trying to figure out where to build my permanent home. So that is what that is. So then we'll run back over here. I think we might actually be able to beat the spawns, but ouch. If not, no big deal. Nothing like killing some mobs and liven up a video. But doesn't look like I want to get to. Cowards. Although I do need to eat. Nom nom nom. Okay, then heading back the way that we came here. So that's the witch farm. You've seen that. You've seen the skelly farm. I'm trying to think other things I need to show you. This, I've left this house up here. It's a memoriam to a poor villager. I actually had a Silk Touch book selling vendor that I was desperately trying to keep, and I had him in here, and there's no way that he should have been able to be killed. But I don't even have a gate in this thing, but unfortunately the evidence of that door missing means somehow, even though it's completely lit up, a zombie managed to get in there and kill him when I was AFK from him. So sadly, He is no more. I wish I still had him, because if I did, I would have moved him gladly to where we're headed next. Gotta, oh, that's a witch. I'm not going to kill her. Not with an arrow, anyway. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead. I don't feel like dinking around with killing mobs over there, because it's going to slow us down. Let's see if I can do this. Oh well. Close enough for government work. We'll go in here, we'll sleep off the night again, because I actually need to go over across where it's not lit up, and I will show you two other things. Alright, I'm actually going to use this to my advantage this time. Probably going to have to fight some mobs. That looks safe enough. Let's just go over there. I'll pull a sword out. And I'm probably going to land right on top of a creeper. Nope. This is the only good thing about knockback, man. Hate it for any other mob, but for creepers, can't beat it, man. Okay, yep. Speaking of creepers, there's another one. Let's take him out. Although I guess if I didn't have the knockback, I could just shove right into that guy. Two buildings are over here, and that's probably all that I will show you over here. There's actually, if I follow, there's a minecart track over there that'll take us to our desert village, but I'm not going to bother with that. It's just a desert village I didn't do anything special to. This is our villager trading area. Set up this cool door. I really wanted to do kind of a pretty build in here, and if you've been following my series, the first thing you've noted is there's no villagers in here. And again, just like this other house, I have no idea how it happened. You guys can tell. Zombies cannot get through here. Even the baby zombies, I've done tests on them. They shouldn't be able to get in here, and before 1.7 even came out, where baby zombies may have gotten a new hitbox, I came in here and all my damn villagers were dead. I had a guy here that was selling me emeralds. Not quite. I was still working on trying to find one that was unlimited, but I had a guy selling me all the diamond gear. Guy who was selling me food if I needed it. This is the only guy they left alone, which is pretty useless. I guess he's got a projectile protection iron chest plate on him. Whoopity-doo. Oh, he's got something else too. Then I guess protection 2 thorns, diamond chest plate, and some bottles of enchanting, which I don't care about. This guy was the one that I was really loving, because I could trade iron blocks to him and get emeralds. But unfortunately they've all died. So since that happened, and I have absolutely no idea how or why, I just have a really cool building over here with one villager in it that eventually I will probably get back into trying to get the villagers to populate the area. This area is actually where I was actually going through and dealing with my villagers. I have an unlimited villager farm, I guess you can call it, underneath this thing, where they actually ride this water current up and over into here. And I get so many of them out of the damn thing. I had to put lava in here on a button, so I can hit this button and turn it off like that, or I can hit it again and turn it back on, which is how I want to keep it right now, because otherwise I get so many villagers built up in here it'll lag the world and crash it. I saw Doc M77 have an issue with too many villagers in one of his old worlds, and I don't want that to be me. Underneath here, and I guess since we're over here, I will go ahead and make the trek to show you. Like I said, I've had a feeling this is going to be a long video, and I'm not letting you down. Let me grab a torch here. I don't know why I just did that there. That was kind of a stupid place to put it. Yeah, I keep my dirt block there and here, I guess, to... hell, I'll figure it out later. If I travel down here, I didn't even bother to put in a staircase to this place, because I really don't ever come down here, except... Yeah, actually, I never come down here is pretty much the bottom line. What I've gotten in here, this was a Tango Tech thing that he did a really great tutorial on, and I know in my villager tutorial, when I was building the villager farm area, I gave him credit, and I know there's a link to it in what he's done, in what I've done. But basically, we have just oodles of these guys hanging out down here and chillaxing in the water. It all pushes them to the middle, where they mate, and then you actually could have seen this guy right over here just get sucked up. There's actually there's water source blocks here and here that when they get pushed out far enough, will pull them. They'll swim up through it into a current that brings them to the middle, where another one will bring them up to where we just were. The farm works off the fact that I had two villagers in there to begin with, and then down here underneath we have a villager who is perpetually trapped in here. I have absolutely zombie-proof the hell out of him. I do not want somebody getting in there. And then we have 6 doors in here, and a complete exposure to sunlight up there. I've just got glass in there to keep us from being able to fall in. Tango describes all that stuff in his video. I highly recommend you check it out. Totally worth it. It's a great little toy. I don't even know what I'm going to do with all these guys, to be honest with you. I want to do something kind of fun and creative. Once I get my villager mini mall set up, I've got some plans for maybe some ways that we can creatively and funly's not a word, but we'll just go with it for now, dispose of our villagers and do something kind of neat with them. Let's go ahead and climb back up through this mess, and we'll continue our little tour. So at this point, I think I might have shown you everything. Nope, I know there's two other little areas I need to show you before we head to the nether. Yeah, guys, like I said, I know I tend to get long-winded and run long, but I just don't know how to make this one any shorter. There we go. That's where I want to put that. That way the mobs can get down there. I have a sugarcane farm back here, as rudimentary as you can get, in addition to the automated one that you guys have already seen. And I have another one over here because there's a very common villager that you can get that will trade you emeralds for paper. So I use those to get paper. Ultimately, I'll get that as the very last trade out of the max so that I can just use him and abuse him as much as we want to. But until such a wonderful day happens, we won't be doing that. So we'll head back across the bridge here that we didn't head across before. This was my first bridge building project, I think, that I did in this base so that we could get across over to there. And I guess we'll just head into the stables. There's nothing to tell you over here. There's just some sheep and a pen. Ultimately, I'll build a sheep farm for them. I've got this set up so that we can open this all the way up. We go 3 wide with it, and then I also have the horses in here. These stables have 2 wide, so we can actually take some stuff out of here. I have some diamond horse armor I happen to find and a saddle. We'll throw it on one of our horses, open both doors, get him out here, close them up, and if both of them happen to get out, we'd still be safe. We wouldn't lose any of them because we're still inside. But then I can hit this button from the horse and just take off charging to run across and go to all points unknown. Really, this is more of an aesthetic build than anything else other than that. I wanted to make it look kind of like a real stables, I guess, and try to use some creative lighting in the glowstone so I wouldn't have to worry about having mobs spawn in here. The entire base is pretty much spawn proof. No mobs have ever, that I know of anyway, have ever spawned in here. I used the hay bales and some yellow wool for my texture pack to try and make it look like there's straw and hay around here. I've got the area in here insulated so no grass can grow in here. I wanted to go with a dirt floor for our stables. And then the fence posts back there so I could actually tie these guys up if I want to with a leash. So that's that. Then we'll head over here, and down here is where our sheep is apparently currently hanging out. We have a wheat farm, and it is not just any wheat farm. This is directly built off of Monkey Farm's design. And man, this thing is crazy, guys. Again, I know I have a link to his... I was hoping he would do a tutorial. I know he mentioned he would. I don't think he ever did. So I can't really send you guys there, but if you want to check it out, watch my video on it. I think I step-by-step you through it. If not, he's done a series on it as well that I gave credit to and linked to. Basically, we've got 6 wheat spawning areas here, or growing areas, I guess, and then 6 over here. I don't want to do it because it will lag us out a little bit when I do, but when I hit this button over here, it floods all 3 farms over here. When I hit this button, it hits all 3 over here, and we basically just get a metric ton of wheat and seeds. And the only thing that I did differently than Monkey Farm is I have everything being brought up to us in here. So the only thing I have to do after I've hit those 2 buttons is grab a bunch of seeds out of here, and then I can run through this door. I'm just going to show you one side of this thing. Run through this door, and then if I go in here, I can actually replant all this stuff. And then if I go down all these steps, I can go to each level and I can do that. And then at the very bottom, there's a whole bunch of everything actually gets, well, hell. Let's go ahead and show you. I'm already running long-winded. We may as well be thorough, right? Once we get to the very bottom of this thing, which that's our bottommost, this is our bottommost wheat farm right here. There's water that I have in all these troughs that shove all the wheat down into here, and at the very bottom of this one thing, we've got one hopper that picks everything up. And I will show you where that thing is once we go down another level of stuff. That hopper is actually right here, or right above here. anything that it gets, and then there's one on the opposite side that corresponds to this. All the hoppers go into a straight line in this big nasty long hopper chain. Like I said, I love my iron golem farm, and feed into this guy. The ones from the other side all come down and feed into it as well. They then get carried down here, and we've got a sorting unit. We have wheat that gets sorted out here and sent to this side, and then in this one right here we have seeds that get pulled down and sorted through to go up this side, and those correspond to the two chests that you may have noticed when we were up in the main area. Other than that, anything else that would happen to get in here, if a dirt block got in here, a skeleton got in there somehow and died, or a zombie or something and his meat somehow got in the system so that I wouldn't gum it up, if it's not one of those two items, it gets sent through here, down into here where we've got a dropper that has a little quick timer on it that sends a signal around here that then pulses and shoots out the contents into lava. So anything that we don't want in the system gets spit out and taken care of. So we don't ever have to worry about anything getting broken or too much stuff getting in the hoppers and backing it all up. The only thing that could potentially do that would be seeds or wheat, and since the only way that's going to happen is if the chests are completely full up here, I don't really care. As you can tell, out of all the wheat, each one of these is indicative of 3 stacks of 64 wheat, so we've had quite a lot of wheat get spit out through this thing. If you have the resources to build one of them and food was ever an issue for you, it will no longer be an issue as long as you don't mind eating wheat or eating bread. This area, since I was down here anyway and I wanted to do something cool and build underwater, so I did this cool glass wall so we can actually see out here. I thought I'd go ahead and make it a fishing friendly thing too. This is the first thing that I fished up out of 1.7 was this fishing rod that's enchanted. It has Unbreaking 3, Luck of the Sea 2, and Lure 2 on it. So pretty much I can run over here where this little fence post is that keeps the water from flooding in, since fence posts are 1.5 blocks high. I can look out here. We can cast our line. It will float up to the ground, though I guess say the ground, the highest level where the water is. I can kind of watch up there for a little bit. You'll see stuff kind of zipping up there. And I'm not going to wait for it, and we'll pull it back in, and we'll take our drops or our catches and throw them in here. I've got clownfish, pufferfish, some salmon, a whole bunch of fish and stuff like that. So nothing you wouldn't expect out of a little fishing area. Other than that, the only thing that's down here, at least on this side, you can see this squid kind of swimming around. I kept noticing these guys when I was building it, so I went ahead and I dug out an area here, and I made a squid farm for us. So I completely dug a hole here, then lined it with signs so water couldn't actually go down, but anything that lands on top of the signs can, a la squid. So you can see those signs here, and if this guy is going to swim over here and come down low, maybe he'll cooperate with us. It's not looking like he's gonna. Anyway, happens all the time. I'll be down in here and squid will drop down. They land on the hoppers where they will eventually drown, and we get all their yummy, well, I guess yummy tasties are an appropriate term for ink sacs, but we collect all their ink sacs, and all these things feed into this chest. So ultimately, we have a lot of ink to use for I have no idea what. Wanted to make this kind of cool, so I went ahead and threw in some made a little water wall here, and for our light source threw a bunch of fires back there, so I feel like it makes it look pretty cool down here. Let's see, across the hall I thought I'd make use of some of this stuff. So we've got our little bakery. You can call it Dunkin' Donuts, you can call it whatever you want. Looks like our chicken has escaped that I have here, which is no big deal. I'll just go grab another one. But I have him, I use a leash, I don't remember what they're calling them. A lead, sorry, they call them leads because it's made by Mojang. Through here, I can actually climb up here. This is where some of the magic happens for the wood farm that's in here that I'll show you, or the sugarcane farm. There's a fence post up here I can attach the lead to and shove the chicken off, and we have a floating egg. That's not creepy. Okay, that's actually underneath that thing is where it is, but alright. The chicken will dangle down here. He never actually stands on that thing. He just bobs up and down and will lay eggs for us that then get picked up by the dispenser that was right below him. Ignore the redstone back there. And the eggs get passed into right here. So yeah, so we have our eggs in here. I keep our cocoa beans in here that we get from here, which I'll show you in a minute how that works. And then we have our baked goods. So I have cakes in here. I've got that one on display. We've got cookies. We have milk from our milk dispenser here, and I'll show you how that works really fast. I'll go ahead and drink that just because it's yummy, and milk's good, does the body good. Don't like listening to cows. Can't stand that I have to listen to them up in my main area. So for down here, I did something a little different. If I stand on here It calls the cow from back there. We right click him to milk him, and we get off and he goes away back to where I have him held. So we don't have to see him or hear him or anything like that. Again, that's something that I did that I've outlined in my Let's Play series. You can check it out and figure out how to build it. It's pretty simple. Kind of a goofy video. I had some challenges with it. Oh, that's right. I usually will convert the sugarcane down here to sugar. Go figure, because we use that for baking, right? The cocoa farm, I actually use, this is based off of Monkey Farm's cocoa bean farm. I use a smart piston setup up above and some pistons down below. We actually shove the wall up and down, which causes all the beans to pop off when I hit this button. So when we do that, there we go. The beans go flying everywhere. I run over here and pick them up. I end up with 45 of them off of a full harvest like that. I think that's a reliable number that it always gives, but I'm not sure. We take the extra 30 and I throw them in here. And because I just ran out of room in there, I'll throw some in here as well. So that's how we deal with our cocoa beans, which grow insanely fast. There's no reason they should already be growing, but Mojang still seems to really like to make them grow quick, so I'm not going to complain. So I guess with that, I'll get you reoriented down here. That's the stables, and this is actually where the mine was down low and the exit, and this takes us back up into the house via our minecart elevator. So I think I have shown you everything here that's overworld related. So now we'll go ahead and head into the nether, which won't take nearly as long. Obviously the bulk of my builds are still up here. And believe it or not, even with all that stuff built, I still have some cool ideas for some things that I want to build. More fun builds at this point as opposed to things that I actually needed. But I have some ideas for things that are in projects that I want to still do. Want to do a fight club, I think, kind of a concept. Want to do a couple other things that I've thought about. Maybe a mob zoo, some stuff like that. But here we go, into the nether. So this is my nether hub, if you want to call it that. And I have a couple of things going on. The most recent thing that I've done is right here. If I run up here, and I won't actually take you topside, I've done a little bit of work that I will be showing you in an upcoming video. Thanks to Doc M and Panda and I think the guy's name is this or that or something like that, found out how to punch through the nether, or through bedrock in the nether. So used ender pearls to get myself on top of the bedrock layer up there, and used the trick to get down here that I do cover in there as well, and or I will be, I think I've already covered it, I'm not sure. I think it's in the video that I'm going to be posting, that I've just posted, but not sure. Something to check out. If it still works, you guys can do this. And I'm actually building a gold farm up there, which I'm probably going to have doing a tutorial on. That's all that's really up here, and like I said, I won't show that thing to you yet, as it is still in the works, and it will be the subject of my, I think it's probably going to be my next video. We'll have all the dirty little secrets on it. Then let me see, I have two other things that we can do here. Let's head down this way first. If I jump in this minecart, and because I missed the button, we'll go this way. Let me do one other thing first, because that's really super obnoxious. I've got this thing set up mostly so that I don't have to worry about any pigmen getting on the tracks. I actually had a friend of mine recommend to me about maybe putting some glass in the areas that I can't put half slabs. But this keeps us completely safe. We don't have to worry about mobs to get us to our nether fortress. Man, I'm hitting some serious lag spikes down here though for some crazy reason. I'm going to blame Fraps, although I don't think it is. So while I'm heading down here, I wanted to make this kind of cool. I'll show it to you. I'll try to remember to show it to you from the outside. It looks pretty neat. At least I think it looks pretty neat from the outside. It gives us a pretty decent view to the left and right of what's outside. Yeah, it's a pretty neat nether. I like my world. It's incidentally, it's 227 was the world seed that I used. I'm not sure you can get it anymore with 1.7 in the new biome. That's good. Yeah, Q jumps us out of a minecart, right? Not sure you can get it anymore with the way that they have done the new biomes and everything, but if you can, or if you want to maybe create the world in an older version of Minecraft, like I said, it's 227, and I think it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool seed. So here we are over at our fortress. I really didn't want to see you, jerk. Let's see if we can take him out really fast. I don't want him shooting at us when we go into the next area. Good God, laggy. Alright, got him. Good deal. In spite of the lag. Yeah, so down through this little tunnel, and then I wanted to make an area. This is actually where my blaze farm is, and I wanted to make something kind of cool. I need to do a little bit of work to more gas proof it, because actually it looks like they shot that thing in the face at one point in time too. Now that we're inside, I can kind of show you. This is the back side of it, but I did some kind of cool lava waterfall things in here and all that good stuff. Got an enchanting setup down here. Nothing special about it. A little bit of storage over here. And then the actual blaze farm itself. This is actually based on Etho's blaze farm design. So again, when I do this, I think I have a link to his tutorial on it. But yeah, when we pop that lever, any blaze that are up there get dropped down into the trap, and the wall gets pushed forward. We hit this button, which has a timer set up on it, which then crushes the blaze until there are going to be one-hit kills, or one or two-hit, I don't remember. I did my timer system back in here a little bit differently than what Etho does in his. But yeah, so then you kill the blaze, you get their XP, and until I had my Enderman farm, this thing was king for XP and all that good stuff down here. And the blaze rods are really, really useful if you are if you're doing anything, if you're cooking materials and stone and iron and crud like that. So anyway, that is the blaze farm. I'm just going to let those guys be in there. I don't think they'll be able to shoot us. And we'll find out in a minute if I start to burn. So that's the blaze farm. Then over this way, I've created this little area. This actually gets us out and up into the actual fortress itself. So this is the fortress. If I want to bounce around through here, that's the top of the blaze farm trap. Again, like I said, it's Etho's design, so you know, how can you go wrong? Etho does such great work for the Minecraft community. He does some really cool stuff. I don't think I need to really plug his boat. If you don't know who Etho is, you probably aren't watching me. So here we go. Let's hope we don't get shot at, because when I built this, I built it out of the quartz blocks because I didn't think that they could be destroyed by gas. I was wrong. So anyway, yeah, I need to build some kind of a cover over top of it, or I think I'm going to build a cover over top of it, so I don't have to worry about that. That's really all that's down here. This is actually another way to get back up into the fortress itself, which was how I first got in there when I first made this farm. So then I will go ahead and do this again and take us back up to the main part of the Nether fortress. And I guess from there we will head over to the end. Like I said, I don't have a lot of builds down here in the Nether. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm forgetting about down here, and I don't think there is. I think it's pretty straightforward stuff. So we'll bounce across here. And anyway, yeah, so like I mentioned in the beginning of this thing, I have got some Thanksgiving plans taking me out of town. Hopefully, if you guys that are watching this are Americans, you're having a happy Thanksgiving as well. Maybe you're watching this on Thanksgiving. I don't know. If you are, quit watching Minecraft videos, man. Go spend some time with your family. I do need, I think we're going to find I need to redo my exit area of this, because I think we're probably going to get bounced to just outside the Nether. Hopefully not too far, because there is a nasty little bit of lava there, and I'm really going to be mad if I die in my little world tour video here. But let's find out. I'm going to hit shift and see what happens. Alright, cool. See what I mean? So yeah, I need to widen this thing a little bit with, I think it was the 1.7 update. It seems like they've changed the way that the way you dismount from these guys. I'm not sure why they did it or what they were thinking, but it's really a pain in the ass. So the other, oh yeah, actually I want to show you guys from the outside where we just were, the little minecart tracks there. The way that works, that's my little Minecraft, yeah, I guess my Minecraft metro for the Nether. That's our tunnel from the outside, so when I'm running around in the Nether and I get lost, it's really easy to spot that thing. So it does travel through a great deal of the Nether to get us over to that fortress. It took me a while to find that thing, but ultimately I found it, so I guess I'm happy about that. Then I normally have a minecart waiting for me over there, but because we're on the way to the end, and I think I was down in the end the last time that I came back, I just went through the portal. I don't have anything to show you on using the minecart to get over here, but it's nothing really exciting. You saw me do it to get to the fortress. Now down here I did make this wide enough. I'm going to turn the volume back up here a little bit for us. I did make this wide enough here so that when I hop out of this cart it just bounces me, I think, over to right here or something like that, so we actually stay inside. Now when we go through this portal it takes us over to where our end fortress was, which I built this up high and just built a little box around it so that we can stay safe. The end was very big pain in the ass to get to, because it was actually underwater here to get to it, and digging down there was a pain in the butt, but we did it. We used sand to do it and to build this little enclosure around it. And when we hop in here, let's see if we can't take the express elevator down there a little bit. When we come down into here, here is our end portal, which made me very happy to find. So I'll hop through here. I've done some work. Anybody who's been following my series, this is, I guess, kind of where we're going to end it. So this will be a little extra treat for you. I did some building off camera that I felt like, it's just aesthetic stuff, nothing that's major, so I'm not going to show you. Making you watch me build this would have been, I think, an incredibly boring video. So did kind of more of the same as what I had done on my my first up in the top world with building this thing, I guess 5 blocks wide total, but really 3 walkable blocks. I used the fence, the iron gating or grating, I guess, here to keep us from being able to walk off the edges. This whole end farm was built off of Doc M77 and Panda's design, and the way you start out is getting down here was probably pretty comical watching me die, and then you're on this little 1 block wide plank, for lack of a better term, to get you out to where you're going to build the Enderman farm. And this was just back and forth on this thing was driving me nuts, guys. So I went ahead and just thought, I'm just going to build this thing out a little bit and make it safer to get in. I extended out this entrance area here and put water on top of it so that our trapped Enderman in here can't get out and teleport down here to get away. So we are 2.5 blocks high here, so it feels like it's a little taller than it really is. As far as an Enderman is concerned, they can't spawn in here because the ceiling height is not high enough for them. So we have that going for them. I have my little job site deaths count that I had started in here. I think we have a total of 8 deaths on here. Was our total amount of deaths in building really everything that I have down here. This is our underbelly workings of the Enderman farm. I'm going to go ahead and set it up really fast, but as you can see, when it has 2 modes, which is basically kill all the Endermen, and the other one is let them live but make them one-hit kills so that we can get yummy XP off them. They usually get so obnoxious, I don't really keep it on this a ton. Wow, that was a really weird sound. I don't know if you guys could hear that or not, but we just had a really weird stutter. This button is a reset button so that I can reset the trap, because it is piston based, and every now and then the pistons will extend and get stuck out there. So I have that set up so that I can reset everything up high and make sure that we're getting our maximum efficiency on the Enderman. Which it doesn't seem like we're getting, so maybe I'll have to go up there and see what's going on. I actually have some manual resets up there as well. But I did an experiment in one of my videos where I let 3 minutes go by of kind of bringing these guys up, and I think I went from level 0 to level 24 in like 3 minutes worth of letting them stack up and just doing this. And that's how these things work. If you've never seen an Enderman farm before, you need to not get out more. You need to stay in more, I guess. But yeah, just in a little bit that we've got working here, as you can see, we've got a decent amount. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set this thing back to kill mode so we don't have to worry about these guys falling, because whenever I see them I feel like I have to kill them. See, so now, these guys are all one-hit kills. Sorry, a little freak out fest there. Wow, they actually did some damage to me. I guess doesn't help that I'm hungry. Yeah, so we run around the outsides here. I think I was level 17 when we started this little batch, which really we weren't here for very long, and here we are at level 24. So again, I've said it many times, if you need an XP farm and you have access to the end, this is the way to go. Check out the tutorial that I linked to Doc and those guys and follow it, or you can try and follow along with what I did. I did a little bit different mechanism to detect the Enderman than Doc does in his video. I'm using tripwires and strings so that we use a lot less redstone to build it. But then I built these 2 little areas off the side of this thing as well. This is really just for storage. I'm not sure if that guy's a one-hit kill or not, so we're going to hit him with a sword and find out. He's not. It's really weird. This area seems to really confuse him down here. I'm not sure what the dealio is. But, yeah, whenever I do that, it really seems to confuse him. There's some more of the red stained glass that I changed. It was really kind of a lighter pink. I really think I like the more vibrant colors. Not sure I like it down here in this case, but I think if I ever do a decorative project, it'll work. As far as this farm working, you can't get better. These chests are all full. They're all double chests, with the exception of these top ones. But they're all full of ender pearls. So and this is where I'm starting from here to fill up the rest of these things. So you're going to get a disgusting amount of ender pearls, a disgusting amount of levels. I'm using this to enchant things. I've got some books over here. I've already got power 4, efficiency 4, sharpness 3, infinity 1, and efficiency 4 again. So I've had remarkable luck with the enchants that I've gotten down here in this thing, so I'm really happy about that. I guess the other side of this thing, let's go pick up a bunch more ender pearls on our way through. I built just a simple little potato farm that just washes them down. When I hit this button, the dispensers that are back there to spit out water, wash all the potatoes to us, and then when I hit it again it turns it off. I'm doing that just because I wanted to have a food source down here in case I spent any reasonable amount of time here that I might need to actually have food, since I've never killed the wither. I don't think I've ever killed the wither in Minecraft, so when I do that finally here, which is probably going to have to be something I'm going to want to do pretty soon, it will be a joyous day for all. So that is it down here for the Enderman farm anyway. The other little, I guess, pseudo treat that I've done here that you guys have not seen if you've been following me. I'm really tempted to chuck a pearl, but I'm just afraid that if I do, I've got all my decent gear on, I don't want to miss and suddenly I'm in the void and I've lost all my stuff, and really would not make me a happy boy. So heading back up here. The other thing that I have done that you haven't seen, you might have noticed it at first when we first came in, was I dug this little tunnel. And it just so happens that where I killed the dragon, and this was completely not planned, it's a very happy accident. I planned to maybe have to snake around in here. It's like a straight shot from where we come in to where the portal out is, which is really cool. So I found out two things here. Number one was that I can just go a straight shot here, and when I look up here, we'll see the bottom of the portal out of the end. Now, I've learned two things about this. Number one, you can throw a pearl up and hit the bottom of that thing, and it will glitch you up into the portal out. So you can use that to get yourself back to the main world. So we'll do that here. We'll just throw one pearl, and there's our little end thing. I'll hit escape because I really don't want to see that. And here we are in the overworld where I was sleeping. The only thing to note, if you do that, do not throw more than one pearl, because the game does remember where your pearls land, and it holds on to that information. It really threw me off the first time it happened to me, but the very first time I think that I used that thing, I threw two pearls up there because I thought, well, I might have to have more than one so I can glitch through the bedrock, or through the bedrock there. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to chuck two pearls up there, and I'll use that, and I can make sure I glitch through. The only problem with that was I glitched through on the first one, and then when I came back into the end, it remembered that I had thrown the second one, and so it remembered my coordinates from where the coordinates should be. So when I came back in, instead of putting me on that little obsidian base where you first start, it actually dropped me from the height of where the bottom of the bedrock is on that portal down to the floor of that, and I died. So don't ever throw more than one pearl there. Throw one up there, and if you don't glitch through, you'll fall down, and you can just do it again then. Try and come back through then. But that's the worst case scenario with that. So that's just a little tip from me to you. So yeah, I guess that ends our world tour. There's a hell of a lot of stuff that I've covered here. If you guys stuck with me through this whole thing, man, I am impressed. You are either really good friends or really need something to do. So anyway, like I said, I wanted to do something kind of special because I'm not going to be around for a week, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give me a little thumb up on the like. It really helps the channel out a bunch. If you didn't, don't thumb me down, please. I don't think that helps anybody. But other than that, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.